All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back. Let's get cozy. Let's get warm. Let's see what the evening has in store for us. Coming to you from the fabulous Judson University Darkroom Studios. I'm Bradley Obert. Thank you so much for joining. I had some coffee a little while ago, and look at that. I just totally chipped a piece of fingernail from like one little thing on the table. I got to take biotin and calcium. That was crazy. I'm falling apart. And I'm only 14 years old. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, it's kind of late, like I was saying, but I had some coffee and feeling pretty good. So yeah, let's see what this evening has in store, right? And thank you so much for joining. That's what I keep saying. Thank you. We got some things to look at. And do you remember, I wanted to start, this came to mind. Didn't the world, let's really settle in here for a second. Did the world seem warmer before? And the way I just asked that is totally not even in a way that you're thinking at all. I genuinely, I'm not even like doing a bit or something. I have no clue why I phrased it that way. What I'm talking about is sunlight. I'm talking about sunlight and the different color temperatures. I saw this on somewhere, and then I keep looking out the window, and I can't help but see it. And so I don't know if it's like suggestive, like if somebody says something and then you hear it and then you always see the world that way, or like if you're pregnant or something, or you're expecting a baby, you're all of a sudden noticing every stroller commercial and everything like that. So I don't know if it's actually true or if I'm just noticing it, but somebody said, because there's all this about things sprayed in the air, which well done, everybody from 40 years ago. You're all vindicated. It's crazy. But they said, it was a comment or something, and they said, is anybody else noticing that the sunlight is more like an LED instead of a warmer temperature incandescent? That's what it was. That's what it was. And I actually have incandescent bulbs over there. It was something talking about LED lights. I totally got it wrong. LED lights versus incandescent lights. And the health benefits of that. Change all your bulbs to incandescent. You will not regret it. If it costs you a little bit more, make sure you're matching the voltage so you're not starting fires. Or make sure your insurance is active before you do, if you do, want all new things. But swap out to incandescent light bulbs, and it's fabulous for your health. It helps with your circadian rhythm. Blue light after a certain point, the wavelengths are not healthy for you. If you cannot swing the higher cost of electricity, reach out to me. I will personally send you the difference. Switch to incandescent. It's a couple bucks more, you cheap schmoes. It's a couple bucks more a month, I'm sure. But, so that's what it was. So somebody in the comments was saying, yeah, incandescent is nice. It's a warmer light. It's a nicer light. And I started thinking about that. I looked out the window and I go, this is a harsh, bluer light. And I think back on childhood, and it's like, if you're my age, which again is like 18, 17, clearly I have the Spider-Man sweatshirt on. I'm 19 years old. If you are enough of an age where you can remember back to the early 2000s, if somebody says, remember your childhood, what accompanies it is a day outside and it's yellow light. It's yellow light, not blue. You're outside, you're in the front yard, you're in the backyard. It's nice. There's memories. There's all these aesthetic, old school videos that go around, like, winter break in the 90s, which is a bad example because not a lot of sunlight. But to me, it's like, oh yeah, it was yellowy, wasn't it? It was warmer. Sunlight outside had this tint to it. It wasn't this these lights that I'm using, this bluish light. So I don't know. Why was I talking about that? I do not know. I do not know. So that's my new conspiracy theory. I think they're blocking sunlight, and I think it's just harsh blue light now outside. And that could be true. And it could have been done slowly enough that you wouldn't notice it. Day by day. Good song, Day by Day. Okay, all right, well, welcome. I think that'll be it. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you for joining. Welcome back to Big Whoop, episode, what is it, 13 or something? It could be 13. I think it's 13. I have some things to go through. If you are watching this or listening to it, then, which is how you'd be hearing it, please hit subscribe, follow, hit the bell. If you're on YouTube, hit subscribe, please. If you're on Spotify, hit follow, Apple Music, hit whatever button is there for all you poor saps that use Apple. Rumble, please reach out to me. My videos accumulate tens of views, and I cannot get them up for my age. I'm just kidding. That's inappropriate. I cannot get them, like, I can upload them, but then they don't show up on, that you can't find them. You cannot search right now Rumble on Google. Rumble, Big Whoop with Bradley O'Brider. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm going to figure it out. And so please hit subscribe, follow. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, no interview today and no interview next week, although I will be having some guests joining and that'll be fun. I'm also going to live stream one of these episodes because I am recording this late and putting it out late, and I would like to live stream this. Actually have like a, instead of it's recorded and put out, actually just do a live hour. So that'll be fun. Pay attention to that, please. Reach out, bigwhoopshow@gmail.com. You can get this hat. You can get, well, whatever you want, honestly. At this point, I'll send you whatever you need. Consider bigwhoopshow@gmail.com your helpline for anything in the world that you need. Do you need tax help? Send it there. Do you need this hat? Send it there. Do you need a recipe? Send it there. Request it there. Send an email. I would love to hear from you. If you have a segment or anything to send in, that would be fun. If you're like, hey, this caught my attention, Bradley might do a little chuckle, you know, you might get a couple of yucks out of this on the podcast. Send it my way. Thank you so much for joining. Yeah, those were some nice interviews. Zach and Chris were a good time. All Saints Worship was a good time. And then we have some things coming up. But other than that, I think we'll just get into it. I'm going to be uploading more on Instagram and stuff like that. I don't know why I said that. So, related to the sunlight thing, this was unbelievable. Do you remember this? When you would get an outfit, like a 2-pack or even pajamas, honestly, pajamas came to mind. When you would get bottoms and a top, this was a kid, when you were a kid. How am I doing? Am I communicating this linearly so far? Am I doing well? Do you remember at a store, at Walmart, getting clothes and a toy would come with it? Huh? Think about it. Think about it. You're like, that's crazy. If you're young enough, you're like, that's dumb. Or it sounds like something, you know, a Happy Meal. I do remember getting like pajamas or something, and it came with a car, and it came with a Hot Wheels, or it came with a toy. It is like a vague memory of mine. Get out of the way, Mike. Me when I'm upset at my friend Mike. Me when my friend Mike is in the way. Let's see. Walmart clothes that came with a toy. Okay, here. Y'all remember, I hate when people say y'all. I don't, because it's not a cultural thing. I hate when people like me say y'all. Y'all remember the t-shirts, cargo shorts that used to come with a something. Oh, attached at places like Kohl's. Yes. Look at this. Okay, so you would go and buy this, and there would be a toy that came with it. Can we just say that we were a proper country back in the day? No one's worrying about the Straits of Hormuz or the or whatever it is. Nobody's worried about, the GDP, which hopefully some people got that from the last episode. that wasn't, I was talking about, I was making a point, GDP. Okay, I cannot zoom in. Here, look at this. Look at this shirt that comes with a toy. Look at this stuff. We used to be a proper country. I am not envious of, no, not that stuff. Yeah, it was like this. I am not envious of people younger than me, other than they're younger than me. But there was a real cultural shift. Well, I'll say it like this. There was a real cultural shift that happened, and it happened just about when this ended. And they stole that from you. They stole your heritage from you. Look at this. A toy came with clothes. Anyway, yeah, should be a pretty good show. Let's see if I can stop this recording. Should be a pretty good show. Got some things to move through. Thank you. As always, I do genuinely mean it. Thank you for listening. And it hit me the other day. Somebody said, I listened through the entire, blah, blah, blah. I can't remember what it was, what episode it was or something. And that did hit me. It's like, I don't know, I said this last time, but it does mean a lot. The greatest thing we have is time. And when that's, I know it's kind of like maybe this is dumb or sappy. It's not really, it's not like giving you your time. I know, whatever. But when somebody says, oh yeah, I listened to that, it was really good. It's like, shoot, dude, that's incredible. I almost don't even, I do care about if somebody says it's good or not. And nobody has ever said it's good. But I'm more thankful for just the sticking it out, for the giving the limited, you have limited fries in your fry container and you gave one to me and you can't go back and get more. So thank you. Thank you for listening. I really do appreciate that. Yeah, let's dive into it. Let's get going on some of these things. We'll move through these. We'll have a good time. But like they say in show business, be good and be gone. This is going to be a 12-minute podcast. I'm just kidding. But I think there was a podcast back in the day where it was like the 1-minute podcast or something. I'll have to think about that. Dude, this is a good idea. And I shouldn't be saying this. But what if there was a 1-minute podcast, but it's just the entire episode condensed into 1 minute? Like, have you seen GIFs, GIF, GIFs, that have the entire B movie in a GIF? Somehow the GIF, which I thought could only be like 6 seconds long, is like 40 seconds long, but it's the entire thing. It's so funny. So maybe I'll condense this into that. BigWhoopShow@gmail.com. No, BigWhoopShow.com. I have a new website. Okay. Man takes his parrot scuba diving. Interesting stuff happening out in the world. Is it just me, or is there a lot going on? There is a lot going on in the world. It seems like what used to happen 6 months apart happens about 2 weeks apart now. Yeah. I feel like maybe 3 or 4 things, when I was young, 3 or 4 big things happened each year. 1 a quarter, right? 1 each fiscal quarter, 1 each calendar year. But now it's like 48 things happen each year, and 4 happen each month now. It's a lot happening. And I don't know if it's like, they say that technological advancements in the last, 80 years or something has happened quicker than everything before that. So I don't know if it's just like this snowball that is gaining speed headed towards what? Well, that's for you to crack open a Bible and read. But it seems like a lot happens, and it's a lot to process. And I would say this: if you, you know, you don't need my advice, but you're listening, obviously. So I will tell you this: if you're not able to process it, just check out. It does take a special ability to hear and know what's going on, to stay informed, and still be able to be a healthy, functioning person. I'm not knocking anybody, but if you are like, well, I'll get the throwaway scraps of the news, or that's just a lot for me to, I'm too busy feeding the kids or something. You're doing it exactly right. That's all it was ever supposed to be. That's all it was ever supposed to be, is a little bit of freedom, a little bit of land, and you go and live your life. So if it's a lot, all of this stuff, I read through like a list last week. That's fine. That's fine. I'll let you know when the really important stuff happens. I'll let you know when the really important stuff happens. Okay. All right. Dude, this is hysterical. This is hysterical. So there's this video that came out. I don't know if you saw this. I feel so large. I need this chair to. Yeah, there we go. That'll work. Oh, I couldn't even do it from the app. My sign's on now. Shoot, what the heck was I saying? Oh, there's this video. Did you see this of the rage baiting cop? He goes, it's this guy in a car, and he's stopped by a police officer, and the police officer is standing at his door. And the guy's sitting in the car, and he goes, "Oh, that's my friend right over there," or whatever. And he gets out of the car, and he's like, "Oh, this, you know, it's some sort of situation." And the officer goes, "Put your hands behind your back right now." And he goes, "That's my friend right there." And he goes, "Put your hands behind your head right now." And the guy goes, "Put your hands behind your head right now." And and it is gold. It's so funny. I'll see if I can pull it up. But you know why it's funny? Is because of this. A fellow I know from Springfield, Illinois, which is a very different culture. You know, it's Illinois is very different from this area. He posted something on Facebook, and it was a bunch of years ago. And at first I was like, no, that's not true. We should be falling in line more. But then I understood what he was saying, and he's like, cowboys used to poke against the law. He said, whatever happened to that? He goes, we used to have a rivalry, a nice little healthy rivalry with the law. You know, now it's like, I'm with them, you know, or whatever. But before it was like, you know, in the West, it was like a little bit of edge pushing, you know, a little bit of edge, a little bit of like contesting. And you fight with the law a little bit, and you know, it's a back and forth. It's like against the man. It's against the man, you know. So I saw this, and I got a laugh out of it because this is just funny. It's like, it's just ribbing. It's ribbing somebody. All right, let me find it.
Put your hands, turn around, put your hands behind your back.
I have nothing on
Turn
me.
around, put your hands behind your back.
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Who's this guy?
Look.
Put your hands, turn around, put your hands
No,
behind
I
your
have
back.
nothing on
Turn
me.
around, put your hands behind your back.
Turn around and put your hands behind your back.
Dude, that is so funny because it immediately triggers the police. You know, he's like, he doesn't like that, so he goes in. But I like that. I like a little banter. I like a little cowboy-esque, you know, we're beefing with the law a little bit. It's not dangerous. It's not harmful, but it's a little bit of fun. And we need that. We need a little bit more rough and tangle a little bit. Just a little bit. I do not know why these tennis balls are here. I put them here, so that's a little misleading. But I got them from Amazon. Look, they're the cheapest ones, but they smell kind of good. I'm going to use them to rewire my brain. Ah, yes. Achtung, yes. Okay, here's another one. They're back. Ladies and gentlemen, they actually haven't been gone, but I just haven't shown these videos. The second or third episode of this Welcome, everybody. I'm sure I said that at some point. The second or third episode, I had a clip of these guys. So these are, for people listening on audio, this is an improv class. I almost said impromptu class. Improv class, and these guys are great. They have the chops. They're going places. And I genuinely have not seen this. I stopped at the first one, sent the link to myself, and now here we are.
World's worst
Wait, holy smokes. Okay, go.
professor.
Oh, this one's gonna be good.
Okay, so for people on audio, this is somebody record. This is gonna be good. I hate that already. That lagged in my ears and my brain. I didn't hear it. This is somebody recording a group of people, and there's a prompt, and they say something like "world's worst professor," and then these people walk up, do their bit, and go back. And obviously, I'm being sarcastic. This is very difficult to listen to. At least the first one was. What would be terrible is if they know that people are ironically laughing and they actually do get better, and now their content isn't as funny anymore. So let's see if that's happened. I'm sorry, I'm going to restart it. World's worst professor.
Worst professor.
Oh, this one's gonna be good.
All right. Enter the site. Huh.
Okay, first of all, there's no way this guy's in the room. All right, so now there's just this annoying laugh. I'm sorry. This backtrack. I apologize for it being in there.
Do you have Instagram?
Instagram! You cannot say that.
I hate this so much. This is content in 2026. Me watching a thing, listening to a guy react to a real thing. A fake thing. I feel like I'm Robert Downey Jr. in the movie where he was black. I feel like Robert Downey Jr. right now in Tropic Thunder. Onward.
ChatGPT, how to teach.
That wasn't funny.
All right, I genuinely did not know this guy was doing a voiceover. That's actually really funny. That wasn't funny.
Dude, wasn't even funny.
Ah, I got it. 2 + 2 = 4.
Oh! Okay, I love this guy. His voice is like no duh.
Diagramming sentences. Does anybody know the word that describes like a verb?
It's an adverb, you stupid.
Papers, it'll be my girlfriend. My teaching is.
Oh!
Sorry.
Oh my god!
World's worst professor.
Oh, this one's gonna be good.
Dude, these are so funny. I would have reacted stronger if the guy wasn't reacting. I would have reacted stronger. I did not watch this. I watched the very, very beginning. He stole my reactions. That's funny. There's something about making things unironically. Whether it's good or bad, it's funny and it's quality content. The best like most reacted to videos on social media are the ones where they legitimately are not trying. It's not a production. It's just a capturing of what authentically just happened in the friend group or whatever. So that's funny, dude. That's really funny. I love that. I wanted to pull that up. All right, this is actually very bizarre. This is very bizarre. I have kind of two final things that I'll use to eat up the rest of the time, and they're fairly kind of serious. It's so bizarre that like real things are happening in the world, and there's still this like attention laziness or like lack of interest enough to lean in and actually find things. I'm not too put me out of my misery if something happens in the world and I go, well, my approach is always just the simplest explanation is the best explanation. It's like, what? I have a buddy who thinks that way, and I love him to death. I got to play Warzone with him tomorrow. But it's like, have we not lived through enough things where that is so clearly not the situation? Have we lived through enough 9/11s and enough COVIDs? And, well, I'll pull this up next, where it's like, oh, I find that the best thing is just the simplest thing. And then you're like, well, what about A, B, C, D, E, F, and G? Like a number of significant, actually quantifiable odd things. You're like, I don't know, this is kind of weird. And they're not conspiracy theories, but they're like actual points of investigation. And you hear all of them. You hear all of them, and then you just go, you choose to do this instead. You go, well, I abide by the philosophy. The easiest explanation is probably the best explanation. And I don't know, that's just, I don't want, it's so lazy. It's like, so you're fine not pursuing anything. You're fine knowing your narrative and nothing else. And I said this tonight. I didn't even put this together. I said this tonight to a girl, to a lady. I said, you know, it's so interesting that enough things have happened in the world, which are odd, which are kind of weird, that your bubble of narrative is so clearly not 100% truth, right? Your media consumption or your bubble, right? If you think of it like Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob, she has her dome. If you think of that and you're like, oh no, I know everything in here and everything I know in here is correct. Everything I know in here is true and is 100% based in reality, then you will never actually learn truth. And specifically younger people, this is a more awake or radicalized collection of younger people coming up because they have lived through things that are just undeniably not true when they're spoon-fed from the main channel of information. And so you can't be content with your dome. You can't be content with your dome of knowledge and go, well, what I know is totally true and there's no room for debates. You can't ask something. You can't ask about the thing that's on the other side of the dome. Nope. Shut the blinds. They're blackout blinds. Block everything else out. Pick any conspiracy in the last 10 years and pick one of them. They're not all false. Epstein, like you can list a lot of things. So there does have to be this adventurous nature in us to go, this is crazy. This requires more attention than this. Your posture almost has to change. You have to sit up and you have to go, no, I'm going to dig into this. I'm going to care a little bit because simplest is not true anymore. I might have said this before, but they said about 10 years ago, it took about, this was a quote from a couple of years back. They go, conspiracies used to take a few years for them to start and for them to be concluded on evidence. They used to have a lifespan of conspiracy theory time period by about 2 or 3 years. Now it's about 6 months. Now it's about 6 months because information moves so much quicker and people are awake to know that truth is not always truth. You need these punctures into your bubble and you got to be open to that. So based on that, this is bizarre because it's actually missing people, which could be dead people, which could be anything. So this is pretty wild. These are UFO scientists that have gone missing. And I think something like this is more important than something else because it deals with real people. Something that deals with real people jumps the line and goes to the top. And so anyway, why I said all that is because there's a lot going on with extraterrestrial things, and you can believe it or not believe it, and you can think it's demons or something. That's what I kind of personally lean towards. That's my, that's my disposition on life. That's my disposition as, as me, as a Christian, as everything. But, so you got to be open to things. You have to be open to things these days. You just have to. If you're not, I'm sorry, breaking news to you, but conspiracy theories they got a great batting average these days. turns out they're turning out to be true. So this is from 93.1 FM WIBC, Indiana's mobile news. No clue. Following the deaths and unexplained disappearances of several scientists linked to UFO research, Tennessee Congressman Tim Burchett has sounded the alarm about what he calls a troubling and dark pattern. Burchett pointed specifically to the cases of retired U.S. Air Force Major General William Neal McCasland and his former colleague Monica Reza, both of whom have vanished under unclear circumstances. McCasland has not been seen since Friday, February 27th, when he reportedly left his home for a trail run. Despite ongoing investigations involving the FBI, Kirtland Air Force Base, New Mexico Search and Rescue, and the Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office, no trace of him has been found. His wife, Susan McCasland Wilkerson, has attempted to push back against what she described as misinformation connecting her husband's disappearance to UFOs. Still, authorities say there have been no confirmed sightings or evidence indicating where he may have gone. Something dark is going on. Burchett has been vocal about his concerns. This is him, quote, "Something dark is going on. I know these scientists and researchers. They have testified. We've got to get to the bottom of it," he said in a recent interview. "It's just too much. Too much is going on right now. And by the way, I'm not suicidal." He added, "There have been several others throughout the country that have disappeared under suspicious circumstances. I think we ought to be paying attention to it." So maybe this article goes into it, and I'll cut it out in the edit if it's redundant. But basically what's happened is a lot of these scientists who are particularly steeped in UFO research or space research, when it was brought before that they had to testify in Congress. There were those hearings last year, whenever it was. I'm not going to know the date exactly, but that was trending for a little while. There were UFO testimonials. So these people came before Congress and had to testify. They're here. House Oversight Committee investigating UFO reports has made a number of bold claims about the topic. They all did that last year, if you could remember that. And then since then, these articles are saying eight people tied to that have now disappeared. Again, I agree with the article. I don't think they're UFOs taking them, but I don't like it. I don't like it. It's kind of weird. A history of controversial UFO claims. Burchett, who sits on the House Oversight Committee investigating UFO reports, has made a number of bold claims about the topic. Recently, he accused NASA of withholding information, saying the agency is lying about its knowledge of UFOs and concealing classified files. When asked why more whistleblowers have not come forward, Burchett suggested fear may be a factor. They're afraid someone will disappear them, he said. "I think being murdered is what they're afraid of," he added. "I think some of them truly are because of things they've seen." And I would say this, if life for the last 20 years had been conspiracy theory free, if nothing really had happened, right? If there were none of these very, very popular and very, notable conspiracy theories, if this came in a reality that was virtually clear of anything causing mistrust, then people would not believe him. People would be very easy to brush this off. But there is thing after thing that this comes in a reality at a time where it's like people are buying into this quickly. And you could hear these things and you can maybe see that, cut it there. You can see why people, you could be like, why are people buying into this? This is weird. This is UFO. And, so it has that tag on it. So it's all, throw it all out the window. It's all false. But you can kind of see why people would take to this, because it feels like conspiracies and weird things are the new norms. So, let's hope it gets resolved. Yeah, there's things about underwater alien bases, and then other people have come out and testified. It's really weird stuff. It's very weird stuff. It's like cross species and all that. It's kind of weird. So there's some point where I don't get into it fully. I just, again, don't really know at what point is true or false. And it seems like everything is just so false in reality. Seems like everybody's listed. where everybody's in on something that ends up being true. 6 months later ends up being true. 2 years later, 10 years later. I don't know. It's a very odd time. Okay, finally, this is cool. This is something that I have thought about for a little while, and I'm going to read through this, and you could be like, that's a lot of reading, but I'll walk through it. I've thought about this for a little while, and it's one of the biggest benefits to being active in life, to bumping into other people. And I am able to do that, and I did that over the last few years. And there is this value to being out and being active and leaning into life. So I'm going to read this. Maybe this is something like, well, if you're somebody who goes, well, nothing really good has come my way, right? Legitimate thing. You're either depressed or something bad has happened and you're like, nothing good has come my way recently, or the same amount of good things are the only good things happening. I've had these 3 good things for 5 years and there's nothing new. And while I love these 3 or 4 or 10 good things, it's like, can it change up? Can it change up a little bit? So maybe this is for people who are stale or depressed or something like that. But take a look at this. I loved this. Let's get into it. There's a physicist at Stanford named Safi Bahcall, okay, who modeled this exact principle, and the math is wild. Okay, so here's the GIF. You see this GIF, right? Bye, banana. A moving man will meet his luck. A moving man will meet his luck. Take a look at this. There's a physicist at Stanford named, oh yeah, I read that, who modeled this exact principle, and the math is wild. Basically, I'm sorry for audio people, it's a GIF of a minion stationary in the middle of the screen, but the world is passing by him because he's pedaling. He's pedaling forward, but he's stationary in the middle of the screen, and it's desert. Now it's rain on a highway, and now it's cutting, and he's underwater, and now he's in a forest and in a desert again. He calls it phase transitions in human networks. When you're stationary in life, your probability of a lucky event is limited to your existing surface area. The people you already know, the places you already go, the ideas you've already been exposed to. Your opportunity window is fixed. When you move, your collision rate with new nodes in a network increases non-linearly. When you move, your collision rate with new nodes in a network increases non-linearly. Double your movement through new conversations, new cities, new projects, and your probability of a serendipitous encounter doesn't double. It roughly quadruples because each new node connects to your entire because each new node connects you to their entire network, not just to them. You're connected to their entire network, not just to them. Richard Wiseman ran a 10-year study at the University of Hertfordshire, tracking self-described, quote, lucky and, quote, unlucky people, right? I guess that's maybe what I was saying. Lucky and unlucky. The single biggest differentiator wasn't IQ, education, or family money. Lucky people scored significantly higher on one trait: openness to experience. They talked to strangers more, varied their routines more, and said yes to invitations at nearly twice the rate. The unlucky group followed the same routines, ate at the same restaurants, and talked to the same 5 people. Their networks were closed loops. No new inputs, no new collisions. Luck isn't random. Luck is surface area. And surface area is a function of movement. The lobster emoji is doing more work than most people realize. What? Lobsters grow by shedding their shell when it gets too tight. The growth requires a period of total vulnerability. No protection, no armor, soft-bodied, exposed to the world. That's the cost of movement nobody posts about. You have to be uncomfortable first. The new shell only hardens after you've already moved. This is incredible. I love this. I love this. It makes it so simple. It makes it I love when the bubble is burst on ideas of things that are not in your control. Obviously, there is, some idea of like a universal luck or universal blessing, and God, it brings things into your life. I'm not taking out providence. But I love when the bubble bursts on lies that we believe of things that we cannot control. Because just to pull from that, if you have any aspirations or just even to grow as a person, but you're going to the same places, you're going to the same restaurant, you wake up, you're going to the gym, which the gym is actually good because there's people there. But if you're fixed in the same closed loop, and then you go home and you write in your diary, or you go, you know what, I can't catch a break. I'm not lucky. Things just aren't going my way. Things aren't new. Things aren't fresh. Instead of being you're in a chair and you can't catch a break from the outside world, this enables you to go, oh, this also is kind of in my control. And I love that. I love stuff like that, where it actually it flips the script from victor to winner, but from what you can't control to what you actually can control. And I really like that stuff. And I think that's very important for everybody to have, because it gives you the most tools in your tool belt for life. To know that you can actually change things, and that you can actually cause effects and improve, better your life by ways given to you, they just need you to act upon them, is a great benefit. I love it. Because now you're somebody who has all the tools in the tool belt, and you walk out and you go, this is freeing. This is freeing because I'm not a slave to this invisible. I think there's just the world's moving around me and conspiring against me. It's like, no, you can do something. You can do something. Yeah. You can do something. You got more tools in your tool belt than you even know about right now. And so I think that's cool. It's very equipping for a person, and it gives confidence. It gives energy. And I would just add this on also. If there is, I have to do this better. And again, I'm not preaching. These are all things that I look at, and obviously I share them because they hit me. And so I'm preaching to myself first, and that's kind of an overflow of, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm not trying to do and not trying to say. But I love this also. So if you go, okay, that's interesting, I can get up. Here's the ending of this, and then maybe this is the end of this podcast, of this episode. If you go, okay, I'm convinced now that I can better my life. Again, I'm not taking out God. But believe it or not, contrary to, whoa, who would have thought what I do actually, it does affect my life. Okay, so once I know that, but if you're convinced on the knowledge of it from this, but you don't have the inspiration for it, if you go, oh, okay, so yeah, good. Now I know I got to do more things. Great. That's going to require this. It's going to require that. It's going to require, blah, blah, blah. If you're immediately trapped with the cost and the expense and the negativity of that, but you're convinced on the knowledge, it makes sense to you. You're bought in. You're good. You're red pilled on it, but you lack the motivation, the energy. I saw this video. This is an incredible way to break stagnation and procrastinating. The person who procrastinates is caught in this cycle of thinking about what it will cost to attain that goal. So first of all, you have to have a goal. If it's meeting new people, if it's going to new places, if you're, I don't know, I think of this because it hits home. If you're a musician or something, you go, dude, I just want to make it in music. It's a closed loop. It's you on a hamster wheel to think about how much it will take, the journey, the cost, the expense, the stress, the energy. Oh, it's going to require so much energy. I just don't have it. If you focus on that, then you will never start the thing. You will never spur up the motivation to actually act on what you now know to be a healthy lifestyle. Instead, the hack is focus on the goal and have the success, the achieving of the goal, fall so in love with the bar, with the goal that you're shooting for, fall so much in love with that, that the journey to it doesn't become work. It becomes a part of the journey. If you want to keep your room straight, if you want to keep a clean room, fall so much in love with the idea of, boy, I'd love to be somebody that has a clean room. Oh, and I would be looking over there right now and be seeing nothing. Or I'd be looking over there and I would have fixed the chipped wall. And that would just fall so much in love with the goal, with now you're a larger human being, you've worked out, you're a physically stronger, bigger person. Oh boy, I'd love to paint. Yeah, imagine yourself as a master painter. I just spit, that's disgusting. Imagine yourself, maybe not even as a master painter. Careful there. As a master painter. Fall in love with the goal, and getting there becomes easy. That's what I'm trying to say. Fall in love with the goal. See yourself as the goal. Be a little delusional. Put yourself already up there. Say, I am already that person. And now the journey, the cleaning up of the room each day, the making the bed, you pull the sheets up each day, is now just part of who you are. It is not work. It is your routine, and you love it because it makes the goal closer, makes the goal real in an instant. So try that, I guess. All I did was copy that link. I loved what this thing said about luck. Luck isn't random. Luck is surface. Well, that was probably the most confusing part. Other than the lobster emoji, I have no clue where that where that fell into here. So, yeah. Make sure your life isn't a closed loop. Make sure it's not just the same thing over and over. That's actually how time goes by faster, they say. If you go, wow, this last year went by really quick. Actually, they've studied that also. It's because you are literally doing the same routine each day, and you're becoming smooth-brained about it. And so each day becomes the same thing. There's no interruptions. There's no course change. So create new connection points, a new network. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That'll do it for us. Have a wonderful night. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful whatever time you're watching this. Thank you. Thank you to, again, Zach and Chris for the interview. Thank you for Zach and Sienna out in Wyoming for having me out and hosting me. I was not feeling well, and I think I got Zach's wife, Sienna, sick. So that was not good. That was not good. But thank you. Excuse me. Stick around, bigwhoopshow.com, bigwhoopshow@gmail.com, everything on there. And thank you for your time. Thank you for your time. Enjoy. Have a good week.